So you're new to musky fishing, or maybe you're just getting started and you're wondering, what lures should I buy? They're all so expensive. I don't want to spend a ton of money on lures that aren't going to work. Well, guess what? In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 5 favorite fall musky lures, specifically for Lake St Clair. I've been using them for years. They've been catching me muskies consistently. So if you stay tuned to the end, I will also be sharing a tip on how to store these giant lures, so you're not going to want to miss that. Hey everybody, welcome to Van Beest Fishing. My name is Jonah Van Geest, and I have been musky fishing for the last 6 or 7 years. Well, actually, I'm a multi-species angler, but muskies are definitely my favorite. I've been getting a ton of messages on Instagram or from people who just come up to me while I'm fishing on the shores and asking, what lures are you using? Which lures should I buy? So in today's video, I will definitely be going over the 5 lures that I like to use. And if you're wondering what the heck happened to my boat tent, I am also wondering that. I woke up this morning, came out here, and this is what I found. Guess I'm gonna have to buy another boat tent. Alright, so lure number 5 on my list is the Bulldog. This was one of the very first swim baits ever made. Got a couple different sizes here. This is the regular. This is the Magnum Pro Dog. If you're new to musky fishing, I would just stick with the regular size for now. You can always add more colors and sizes later. But if you're just getting started, start with the regular size. Easier to cast. Throwing the Magnums or even the Pounders all day will wear you out real quick. And the more casts you get in, the quicker you get to that 10,000 cast limit, and the closer you will be to catching that muskie. So they're a great beginner musky fishing lure. They can be fished many different ways. You can just straight retrieve it. You can do a pull pause. You can rip it. There's really no wrong way to fish these. That's why it's a great beginner fishing lure. There's a ton of action in the tail. As you can see, when he pulls through the water, it's just going to be doing crazy things. And it's a lure that I've caught many muskies on down at Lake St Clair, as well as other places like up in North Bay. So make sure you add this one to your tackle box. Number 4 on my list is the Chaos Tackle Medusas. I got 2 different sizes here. This is the mid-size one. This is the regular size one. It's a little bit heavier and a little bit bigger. Both of them are great sizes to use. They come in, I think it's 6 different sizes now. You got the micro, the mini, the mid, the regular, the husky, and now the monster one. So yep, 6 of them. Probably one of the most famous musky lures out there. You'll see them in tons of YouTube videos. The Today's Anglers guys specifically use them a lot. They're a great summertime lure for ripping over top of weeds. You just give it a hard rip, hard rip, hard rip, and those muskies are gonna come out and crush it because they can't resist the action of the tail. But it's also a great fall lure for fishing on Lake St Clair. You can just slow retrieve it, and these tails, the 3 tails of the Medusa are just gonna be kicking and moving a ton of water. It's gonna draw in fish. My buddy Zach just last week got one on the orange and black lure. No one else fishing caught one that day, so definitely make sure you check out the Chaos Tackle Medusas. And before I get into lure number 3, I would like to thank today's video sponsor. Actually, let's be honest, no one's watching my crappy channel, except for you, Mom. Thanks. On to number 3. This is the WATERWOLF Lures SHADZILLA. This is the regular size one right here. This is the shallow one. As you can see, it's got no hook on top. Runs a little bit shallower, great for in the summertime for ripping over top of weeds, stuff like that. Deeper one is the one I would suggest for beginners, specifically in the fall down at Lake St Clair. You can run it in different depths depending on how fast you retrieve it. It's got a ton of kick in the tail, which is going to draw those muskies in, or if it's muddy water, they're going to feel that thump from the tail and they're going to come crush that lure. They also make a 7.5 inch version, which has been an amazing lure fishing on the fly-in trips for pike, and it also works well for the muskies when they're in more of a finicky mood and you need to downsize lure. So definitely make sure you check out the WATERWOLF lure SHADZILLA and add it to your tackle box. Next up, we have lure number 2, the Sabbi. Actually, it's Berkley Magic Swimmer now, but if you go down to Lake St Clair, you're gonna hear everybody calling them Sabbiels. They're not called Sabbiels anymore. They're the Berkley Magic Swimmer. They are a great lure down at Lake St Clair. I've probably seen more muskies caught on these lures over the last couple of years. You can just fish them super slow. They mimic the shad that are running up the rivers right now, which the muskies are eating. It's just a great all-around lure. If I was beginning fishing and I could only choose 3 out of these 5, this would definitely be on the list as well. So make sure you check out the Berkley Magic Swimmer or the Sabbi. you won't be disappointed. And that leads us to lure number 1, which is my favorite fall musky lure, specifically down for Lake St Clair. But before I get into that, if you're finding this video helpful, make sure you smash that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. But without further ado, let's get into my favorite fall musky lure, which is the Rover. So this is made by a local guy, Landry. Find him on Facebook, just type in Rover Baits and he'll show up. But unfortunately, I don't think he's making any more for the rest of the season. He also has a full-time job, so he has other things to take care of. But if you want to get some, make sure you go to the Musky Odyssey next year. He'll have a booth there. Makes some of the best swim baits I've ever used. Last year, this lure caught me probably 10 or 15 muskies down at Lake St Clair, including my biggest one. It's super durable. I had no issues with it. But the reason I love it is because you can slow roll it, specifically when it gets really cold in the fall and those muskies aren't super active. It's just gonna have a nice belly roll to it, and that tail is gonna thump back and forth, even when you're just crawling that thing along the bottom. So definitely check out the Rovers. There you guys go. Those were my 5 top fall musky lures. Hopefully this helps. If you're new, hopefully this helps you catch your very first muskie. Just a couple weeks ago, I got to see this guy Ryan catch his first muskie. Just seeing the expression on his face and how happy he was to finally get that first muskie had me pumped, and was one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, to help other people out. And just like I promised at the start of the video, I'd be sharing a tip on how I store all my musky tackle. So I've made a video here that I show you basically how I make my own tackle boxes, and it's great for DIY, budget friendly. So make sure you check that out, and I'll see you guys on the next video.